league that we haven't seen in a very long time. Going back to the 2020 finals, meaning in the bubble, we have not had repeat conference winners in either the East or the West, meaning no team has even made it to the NBA Finals in consecutive seasons since the Warriors made it 5 straight years from 2015 through 2019. So we take that into account, particularly with Denver, a team that we all thought might have been at the beginning of some great run, getting knocked out as they did. People are saying dynasties in the NBA are dead. Alan, are those people right?
Yes, they are, because the league has continued to create rules in the collective bargaining agreement that is making it more and more difficult to build those super teams that we saw built over the previous 2 decades. And that is something that the owners don't want. They want parity. Is it good for the league? That's another conversation to have. But they have pretty much killed the dynasty era.
Can I throw that and say I thoroughly disagree? And let me tell you why. I think we have at the end of the super team era, meaning the manufactured, a whole bunch of guys get together and decide we want to play together era. But basketball has always been about dynasties. Long before this stuff was going on. Those dynasties always, however, were built around one person. So that person was Bill Russell, that person was Larry Bird, that person was Magic Johnson, that person was Michael Jordan, that person was Tim Duncan. So the question is, who will be the next one? I believe that someone will become that person and will make themselves evident soon.
Quick pushback. There was no cap situation like we have today that even when you draft well, like the Warriors did, now it's harder to keep your own players because you could draft 3 straight years and get 3 guys that you want, like the Thunder did, like all these other teams did, and you can get yourself guys that are all supermax players. Here's the problem. Can't keep them. Because of the new apron that's coming in and all that stuff, it is keeping you from even keeping your own players because of this. These rules are in place now that are going to make it difficult to even draft well and keep your own players, and that's the problem I have with it. You are going to need one superstar to build around, but it's almost impossible to keep teams like this together when you're that good.
Austin.
Yeah, no, he's making fair points, but to your point, Greeny, it's hard to say a dynasty can't be done again. I mean, you can never tell what talent is going to lead. We don't know. First off, when we talk about Tim Duncan, they didn't win every year. Okay, so just because Denver didn't win this year doesn't mean that they can't come back and make some changes this summer and win next year. And then now we're suddenly back talking, is it a dynasty again? Are the Warriors a dynasty? Will we count that as a dynasty?
Absolutely.
They've won 3, right? Okay, so
4.
Yeah, correct. So, we don't know where Minnesota's headed. They have a lot of those guys locked in for the next 4 or 5 years. I think dynasties are dead just until they're alive again. Somebody's going to come along. Just throughout history, we've always had a team where a player emerged. We're looking for that right now. Victor, that team's obviously very far away.
But it's good for the league.
It is.
Yeah,
it's fair.
These last 6 years are an anomaly. All right, you have to go back to the 70s for the last time that we saw a stretch like this where we didn't have even a repeat champion. That is not that. You don't make a lot of money betting on things that never or almost never happen. Someone will emerge. Is that someone going to be Victor Wembanyama? Is that someone going to be Ant Edwards? Who will be the next great one? Who will be the one who becomes the legitimate heir to what those guys have been in the past? Someone will, because in basketball, someone always does.
Yeah, I know you talked about it's hard to keep the players, but when we talk about the Spurs, you just mentioned Victor Wembanyama. He's 20. The Spurs have the 4th pick and the 8th pick this season, not like in the future, and they have the most picks, 2nd most picks, right behind OKC in the future. This draft is, I get it with this draft class. I'm going to be there at the desk. Monica, I
am doing interviews, yes.
Okay, perfect. We'll both be at the draft, but think about it. The Warriors, you just mentioned that dynasty, they had 3 losing seasons when they drafted Steph Curry. I know he got injured, I know he dealt with a lot, but the Spurs could be a few seasons away because of the impact Victor Wembanyama has to having success and success that's sustainable.
As long as we are not solely defining dynasty by going back to back, the Nuggets are coming back.
Yeah, that's what I said.
The Nuggets are not done. They're not cooked. They looked in the mirror, what a Tim Conley built team, right? But I firmly believe that this team will have more intensity, more fervor, more fire because of this run. But I don't think the Nuggets are going anywhere. Nikola Jokic, he can play basketball as long as he wants. His game is not predicated on athleticism. And yes, we're waiting for Wemby. I think that's fine. But Jokic is still a problem in the league.
Look, basketball, because of its nature, one player can have a greater impact on a team's success than can happen in any sport, including football, including Patrick Mahomes, or any other. So that player always emerges. We're just waiting to see who it is. To your point, maybe it will be Jokic.
Well, he's
maybe
won 3 MVPs. It has to be Nicole at this point.
Well,
he is
but he's only got one
dominating.
chance.
player
We don't define
dynasties.
these things by MVPs.
I know, but he's the best player in the NBA right now.
Player dynasties exist because LeBron just did one. I mean, 8 finals in 10 years.
Yeah.
Like he just like that's a player dynasty. So you could look at it in that way as well.
Wanna try to boast at what I look like. Keep them down, try to wear, I pull up long range. Jimmy with the heat, I'm on fire. It's NBA, I'm a